They towed my truck without warning, so I made their parking lot disappear. I came back from a Saturday hardware store run and froze the moment I pulled into my driveway. The spot where my old Ford F-150 usually sat was empty. At first I thought maybe it had been stolen, but then I noticed something fluttering against my fence in the breeze. A laminated HOA citation, bold red letters at the top, unauthorized vehicle, removed per HOA guidelines. Unauthorized? The word echoed in my skull. I don't even live inside their neighborhood. My property is a 2-acre patch just outside the gates, separated by a thin line of gravel and grass. My truck had never been parked inside their streets, never once in their driveways, but apparently the sight of my rusty eyesore sitting close to their clubhouse offended their perfect little kingdom. I called the number listed on the slip, my hands shaking. The towing yard answered and told me the order had been signed personally by the HOA president, and the fee to get back, $200, cash only. I drove over, paid the ransom, and retrieved my truck, but the ride home was one of the angriest drives of my life. That truck wasn't just a pile of metal. It was the last thing my father and I worked on together before he passed away, and these people had ripped it from me without so much as a knock on my door. That afternoon I walked past their clubhouse. It was a perfect day, rows of shiny SUVs lined up in their overflow lot. That lot looked neat and orderly, but as I stood there, something clicked in my mind. I remembered my grandfather once telling me how that very piece of land was never technically theirs. Back in the 1970s, the county had struck a temporary use deal with the HOA so they could pave a parking lot, but the deed itself, it had stayed in my family's name. My grandfather never sold it, never signed it away. I rushed home, tore through my filing cabinet, and there it was, the original deed, my name right on it. The land they had been using for decades legally belonged to me. Within days, I was at the county office, filing to revoke their access. 30 days later, I had my approval. The entire parking lot was mine again. I didn't waste time. On a bright Friday afternoon, after the last car had rolled out, I brought in a crew with posts, rolls of chain link fencing, and a box of big red warning signs. By Saturday morning, the lock was wrapped in steel. The signs shouted in bold letters, private property, no parking, violators will be towed. By noon, chaos erupted. Tennis players circled the block with nowhere to leave their cars. Brunch guests fumed, walking from side streets 2 blocks away. Residents called emergency board meetings, voices raised, tempers flaring, and then the phone calls started. "You can't do this!" Philip, the smug HOA president, barked through the line. "Oh, but I can," I told him, holding the deed like a trophy. "And I will, until I'm repaid every cent you stole from me, plus damages." They tried sending lawyers. They threatened lawsuits. I reminded them calmly that they had been trespassing for years, building and maintaining a lot on land that was never theirs. Every extra day they delayed only made their legal mess worse. By the end of the week, they broke. A check for $10,000 arrived in my mailbox, almost 10 times what I had been forced to pay. And then came the begging. "Will you lease it back to us? We'll cover maintenance, we'll pay rent." But you will not believe what happened next. If you love your father and mother, like, subscribe, and comment heart emoji. I declined without hesitation. Instead, I graveled the space over, parked my truck and trailer there.